Question 4 reads the learners of the Student Christian Association, SCA, of South Africa are planning to celebrate the 128th year of existence of the organization in October 2024. The Student Christian Association, SCA, was founded in 1869 through missionary work in Stellenbosch. Celebrations will take place in the Eastern Cape. The Eastern Cape region of SCA learners as the Western Province are planning to have a fundraising event. They intend to use one of the biggest stadium in the province as the venue. So, of course, we're given the planning part, whereby their planning is as follows: given the stadium, 50 rand per cleaner, also decorations at 1,400 rand. So, we're given a table of cost of using the stadium. So, this is what we have. Then, after calculating all the expenses, they decided to fundraise by selling t-shirts that will be worn during the celebrations at 150 rands each. The table below shows the income from selling the t-shirts. So this is now the income from selling the t-shirts. Then you have to use the table 5 and 6 and the information above to answer the questions that follow. And the first part, the cost of using the stadium is expected to increase in 2025. Write down the term used to explain the yearly general increase of goods or services. So basically, this is the general rise in price levels, which is inflation. So we are saying 4.1.1, our term that which is related to increase in prices is inflation. So we have inflation. So we go to 4.1.2, show how the total cost of using the stadium when 100 learners are booked to attend the session is calculated. So we have 100 learners and want the total cost. So of course we have to go to the cost of using the stadium table, and we will use that one. So of course we are seeing that at zero number of learners, the cost is 2,400. So it indicates that the cost that we have at zero number indicates fixed cost. So fixed cost is 2,400. Of course, as we go forward, now we are seeing that the costs are now increasing. 10 units, which means the difference becomes the variable cost. But we are being told that the planning is as follows: stadium is 50 rand per learner. So as simple as that. So it means our formula to calculate the total cost will be equal to fixed cost plus variable cost per unit times number of units. In this case, we have got number of learners, so it means we're going to multiply by number of learners. Number of learners, and then you put your brackets. And of course, according to information that we have, you'd see that our fixed cost, we know that 2,400 is indicated. So it's goes to 2,400. And then we add the variable cost per unit, which are given as 50 rand per learner. So in brackets, we're saying 50 rand times the number of learners, which we are given a number of learners according to the question. We've got 100 learners, so we multiply by 100. So with that, we simplify it further and see what exactly do we get. Of course, if you say 50 times 100, you're going to get 5,000 rand. So basically, this is 2,400 rand. So it becomes 2,400 plus 5,000. And the total will now become 7,400. So basically, this is the answer is the total cost for 100 learners. The next question, use table 6 to draw a line graph of the income from selling t-shirts on the axis provided on the other sheet. Of course, the income is shown on this part. So we are just going to plot in terms of our points, and then we come up with a line graph. So this is our graph. Of course, we have our cost in rands on the vertical axis, and then we have got a number of learners horizontal axis. So we check in terms of what we have. So curve that we already have there represents total cost. So this is the total cost. So we now want to come up with the income curve. So according to figures that we have, you'd see that at 0, we have got 0. At 0, we've got 0. So we can just put our point there. I'll see that this is the point of quality at 0, 0 at this point. So we have the first point is at this point, and then we check in terms of the next combination of coordinates that we have. We've got 10, number of learners 10, cost in rands. Sorry, this is the of course, this is income selling t-shirts of 10 and 1,500. 1,510. So we check in terms of, again, 10 is here, and then of course we are going to plot our 1,500. So we know that if you try to zoom out, we see that we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points between 0 and 1,000. So if we say 5 into 1,000, you are going to see that you get 200. So it means each one is representing 200. We say 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. So in terms of 1,500 now, 10 and 1,500 will come here. We've got our 1,000 at this point. 500 becomes 2.5 points. So we've got 1, 2. So in the middle, that's where we have our 1,500. In between 1,000 and 2,000. So with that now, we check in terms of the next point that we have, which is 20 and 3,000. So we have 20 at this point, and then 3,000 is at this point. So we are saying at this point again, we do have another point. And then we check in terms of the next one, which we have 40 and 6,000. 46,000, we've got 40 in this part, and then 6,000. 6,000, we check where we have our 6,000.